آية كمال يمكن داخلة من بإمكانها الانضمام معي. يرسلها رسالة طلعت من الاجتماع. ليش؟ لأنه يمكن هذا إلا اللينك مال الاكستنشن مال يعني الإيميل الجامعي. على كل نرجع العرض. Okay. Hello and welcome, our dear students. Okay, I'm glad to meet you again, inshallah, again and again, and we will continue our meetings. So, as you know, the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, and in addition to our university headquarter or the head, okay, confirmed or assured that all the students should be involved in the e-learning, that is electronic learning, and the others should do their best to make it possible. I mean, they have to. There's no choice, and in the meantime. So we have to find a way of communication, and this is the easiest way, is to communicate through the internet or electronic classrooms. So they have to find a solution for this. They should do their best to be involved in such electronic classrooms. Okay, as you remember, in our last lectures, we started with dealing with some important terms or issues related to the study of translation as a discipline. And actually, we dealt with, as you remember, first yes, competence, and we know what's competence. Consecutive interpreting, context, cultural translation, and what's meant by culture. Yes, and the last thing we dealt with in the last lecture was descriptive versus descriptive translation studies. And we said that these are two theories of translation. The most recent one is the descriptive one. Okay. Now, in this lecture, inshallah, we'll start with domestication and foreignization. Domestication versus foreignization. As you remember, in the last semester, the introduction of the Hassan Ghazala's book, that is the translation as problems and solutions. Yes, we somehow dealt with some theoretical issues related to translation, and one of those issues is the dichotomy or the classification of translation process. Method of a translation. We have literal versus free. We have literal translation, literal method, and free method. And actually, we classify the literal and the free translation, and the last one was the loose translation, and we said that there's no relation between the original and the translation. And you see, in this dichotomy, that is domestication versus foreignization, yes, it is somehow okay. There's a relation, or there's a similarity between literal versus free, and this one, domestication versus foreignization. Domestication is somehow another way of saying free translation. Free translation. And foreignization, it is another way of saying literal translation. And as you remember, in the actually these are the most recent dichotomy of translation. It is by Vinotti. Vinotti. There is a source, okay, based on these, okay. Vinotti based his studies on Schleiermacher. Actually, Schleiermacher. I don't know whether you could see Schleiermacher. Schleiermacher. Yes, is in the 1813. Yes, it's old. So based on Schleiermacher, okay, Vinotti based his dichotomy of of classifying the methods of translation into domestication and foreignization. And yes, I'll give you just a very simple example. Yes, we said this example, but just to make it easier for you to understand. Okay, we said that, yes, for example, the sentence, it's raining cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dogs. Yes, and actually, following both methods in one translation is difficult. You have to choose one. And the choice of domestication or foreignization or free or literal translation will be based on the translator's ideology. The translator's ideology. For example, if the translator wants to translate this sentence, I mean, it's raining cats and dogs, you want, for example, if his ideology is to be, well, let's say, biased on, for example, the target language, he would use domestication. And he would translate it's raining cats and dogs into إنها تمطر كأفواه القرب. Or simply he can translate it into إنها تمطر بغزارة. Okay, إنها تمطر بغزارة. But if the translator's ideology is biased to the source language, I mean, the translator wants to retain the structure and the wording of the original. Okay, he would use the following sentence: إنها تمطر قططا وكلابا. Sorry, cats and dogs. Yes, قططا وكلابا. But okay, for every single method of translation, we have advantages and disadvantages. We discussed this in the introduction of this book of Hassan Ghazali's book, and we said that yes, for every single method, we have advantages and disadvantages. Okay, for example, the sentence. When I say إنها تمطر قططا وكلابا, yes, it will be strange. It will be strange for the target language reader, but it retains the culture of the original. It retains the culture of the original. Okay. But for example, okay, when he translates into, for example, إنها تمطر كأفواه القرب, okay, he will respect the translator, will respect the target language culture. So it will be natural to the target language reader. He will not feel the strangeness of the text. Okay. So this is simply the difference between domestication and foreignization. It is another way, but most recent one. Okay, the most recent one, classification of methods of translation. So instead of saying literal versus free translation, we say domestication versus foreignization. Okay, we'll skip to the next okay, yeah, if you have got a question, please register them on paper, okay, and then write it down on the chat, okay. I'll give you maybe 10 minutes at the end of the lecture. If you have got a question, okay, you can just write it down on the chat, okay, and inshallah I'll answer. Okay, the next item is dubbing. Okay, the next item is dubbing. What's meant by dubbing? Okay, use, for example, in films, actually, we use these in films. Okay, you will see the, for example, the faces of the actors are, for example, Western. But the language used, okay, the language, there is a mixed in voices. Okay, they use different voices. Okay, these are not the original language. For example, the film is in English. So instead of writing a subtitle, okay, they add a voice. They add a voice to the actors, so you will feel like those actors are, for example, they are English speakers, and you hear Arabic language. So this is dubbing. Okay, the language used is not compatible with the voices of the actors. So there's a language added to the film. Okay, for example, a film in Turkish language, but you will hear Arabic language. Okay, they follow the movements of lips of the actors, and they produce the same language, the language, for example, Arabic language instead of the Turkish language. So this is dubbing. Okay, using different. Okay, we have here replacement of voices commonly used in motion pictures and videos. Yes, actually in movies and series of okay. So you will see, for example, foreign actors, and you will hear your language, your mother tongue language. Okay. The next item here, equivalence. And actually, this word is one of the most important words in the whole study of language. Okay, we will read here the what's meant by this notion, equivalence. Okay, a widespread term for a relation that many believe in and no one can prove beyond the level of terminology. Okay, what's meant by this sentence is that, okay, we know what is equivalence. It is in Arabic التقابل أو التساوي أو المقابل الترجمي. Yes, you see, we know what's meant, and we believe in by this, but I cannot achieve equivalence. Why? We just discussed this point. Okay, we just discussed this point. If I achieve one point in translation, I will For example, the same sentence that I have just mentioned. Okay, when I said he is okay, sorry, it is raining cats and dogs. If I okay, respect the target language, that is Arabic, I would say إنها تمطر كأفواه القرب أو إنها تمطر بغزارة. If I respect the source language, I would say إنها تمطر قططا وكلابا. Okay, so there will be a loss if I okay put the focus on certain part of the translation. There will be a loss in the other part. So we know what's equivalent, but we cannot achieve equivalence. Why? Because of this. Okay, if I achieve something in translation, I will lose something else. For example, if I respect the wording of the original, the main idea of the original, okay, I lose, for example, the wording. I will lose the original meaning. Or for example, if I respect the target language, okay, I will lose the original culture. I will lose the original culture. So we know what's equivalence, التقابل أو التساوي في اللغة المقابل الترجمي, but I cannot achieve. Why? Because of all those points. We cannot achieve because of the difference in the whole system of the two languages. For example, if we are translating from Arabic and English, okay, and vice versa. There's, for example, there's a difference in the culture and the ways of life and the meals and the customs and the habits. Okay, we have a difference in both languages, so we cannot achieve equivalence. There will be a loss in translation. So equivalence here, we know what's equivalence, but I cannot achieve it. We should accept that equivalence has no ontological foundation, since translation problems allow for more than one viable solution. Yes, we have in translation, we have more than, as we have said, that we have more than one choice in translation. So when you attain or when you achieve something, you will lose something else. This means that in the field of translation problems thus defined, equivalence is always belief in translation as equivalent of the source text. Yes, it is a belief, okay? It is a belief. We think that, but we cannot achieve it. We cannot achieve equivalence. Why? Because of those points we have just mentioned. Okay, we'll move to the next. Okay, before moving to the next, before moving to the next item. Okay, have you got a question here? Have you got a question? Okay, through the chat, please. If you have got a question, just write it down. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, please, on the chat if you have got a question. How come? Okay, now can you the lecture is registered? Okay, I'll give you a link. I'll give you a link to the lecture. I'll give you a link to the lecture. Can you hear me, please? Okay, just confirm that you can hear me, please. Okay, so you can hear me. Okay, write down your question. As I've told you, the whole lecture is registered. I'll give the link of this lecture to you maybe today or maybe tomorrow. Okay. Can you use the English instead of the Arabic? Okay, use English language. Okay, so one of the questions here. Okay, again, can you confirm that you can hear me, please? Just say yes now. Say yes, you can hear me. Okay, good. So what happened in the why you couldn't hear me in the last sound? Okay. Actually, the idea behind using such definitions. Okay, we have just 2 pages of definitions. Okay, we have why it's not clear. Okay, as you remember, in the last semester, we just or we said that this book, I mean Hassan Ghazali's book, is a practical, which means yes, we give the problem, we have some analysis, and we give solutions, direct solution. But in the study of translation, we have to keep some focus on the theoretical issues. Why? For example, if you want to write down a project or a research on translation, so you have to have those bases, so that you could write down your project or your work. Okay, so you need those theoretical issues. And one of the other questions, okay, is it a okay, are we going to continue? Yes, we will continue after finishing. Yes, we have just another page of definitions. We'll finish them, and then we'll continue with our book. That is the textbook. Yes. We'll continue with our book. Okay. Don't worry about the clarity of the voice. Okay, inshallah, after I'll finish this lecture, inshallah, I'll send you a link through YouTube, and you will inshallah you will listen again to this lecture. Okay, I'll just move to the other item. Okay. Interpreting versus interpretation. Okay. What's meant by interpreting versus interpretation is that we use a translation for the written text, and we use interpreting or interpretation for the verbal, for the spoken translation. So instead of saying spoken translation, we say interpretation. Okay, we say interpretation. So The written translation is we call it translation, but the spoken translation is called interpretation. Okay. Okay. Literal translation. I think we discussed what's meant by literal translation. Yes, it is somehow the translations attempt to be as close as possible to the original. It adheres to the wording of the original. It adheres to the grammar of the original. It adheres to the yes, the essence, or okay, the structure of the original. So all of these items, okay, by following those this method, we will keep, or we will actually we will be biased to the source language. And actually, we use it somehow. I mean, the literal translation, as we have discussed in the first semester. Yes, we use it sometimes. Sometimes we use it, the literal translation. For example, in the religious texts, we use it much, the literal translation. Why? Because we want to retain the original. For example, the translation of the Holy Quran. We cannot use a free translation. Okay, you know, the wording of the wording, the structure of the original, and actually the meaning. In addition to the meaning, it is very important. So we use it in some texts. We use it, but for example, in aesthetic text, or on literary text, yes, we use free translation. So literal translation is to adhere to the original wording, the construction, the grammar of the original. Okay, so it is somehow you will feel it is somehow it's not natural. It's not natural. Reading a literal translation, you will feel that this is not a natural text. Okay, yeah, I think we will stop here. We'll try to continue, inshallah, the next lecture. In the next lecture. Okay, we'll stop here. And again, I'll receive your questions. So don't worry. Okay, don't worry about the clarity of the voice. Inshallah, you will hear the whole lecture, inshallah, through YouTube. Maybe it is somehow more clear. Okay. 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 I'll ask a question here. When you saw the last lecture on YouTube, is it clear or not? Is it clear or not? The last lecture uploaded through YouTube, and I send the link through the Google Classroom. Okay. Was it good or not? Okay. Okay. Again, inshallah, I'll send the same lecture, inshallah, through YouTube, and you will listen to the whole lecture, inshallah, again. But okay, when you go back to the classroom, okay, when you go back to the classroom, okay, you will find a link, or maybe an examination, a small examination. You will just write down your names there. You will just write down, okay. write down your names on Google Classroom. Okay, maybe if it is in Arabic مكتوب عليه امتحان. If it is in English, it is assignment. Assignment. Okay. When you go back to the classroom now, okay, just write down your names. You'll see maybe a small icon there. Okay, it is new. It's for the first time. You just write down. There's a question. ما اسمك? You just write down. You just write down your question. This is the absentees and the presents. The list of presents to confirm that you have okay attended this lecture. Just write down your name there. Okay, it will this okay, this assignment or this question will be closed at 10 okay, at 10 and 10 minutes. 10. After 10 minutes, okay, after 10 o'clock, okay, it will be closed. So after that, you cannot write down your name. Okay. Okay, I'll stop recording.